Okay. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Thursday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge North P Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing. Need an orthopedist? Go to Brock. Need a roof? Call Parish. Unique Physique, uniquephysique.com, and Unique Aesthetics and Wellness, $8 unit Botox every day. Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com, and Bocock Brothers Premium Cigars. Use the code MAT15, MAT15, MAT15 for 15% off your order. And yes, the code is good. Got that ironed out yesterday with one of the boxes someone was trying to buy that wasn't active, but it is now. So thank you for the heads up. Okay. Say some good morning, y'all. LSU continuing their prep for Arkansas. Thanks to, I can't remember who asked me yesterday, but someone here um hmm, hmm, okay. Um Someone here yesterday asked me about Michael Van Buren, redshirting, all that stuff we talked about here. So I did ask Frank Wilson on the teleconference, the SEC coaches teleconference yesterday. Um, and he said they're not planning on redshirting Michael Van Buren. He intends to play, which, man, the more I think about it, I think it's a bad idea. Not only for LSU, but for Michael Van Buren. When you think of what his fifth year in school could potentially be worth. Um, and he's playing a backup role at LSU. Like if he were starting, like if Nuss were unavailable and he were starting, it might feel different. Um, but just to play a on again, off again backup role in a two quarterback system in a 5-4 team. Anyway, all right. In basketball tonight against FIU, interesting. LSU basketball, they've covered easily their first two games, 15.5 in the first game, 19.5 in the second game. Now they're a 21.5 point favorite over FIU. So Vegas is kind of catching up there with LSU a little bit. Say some good mornings here. Hey, Jacob, good morning. Be leaving Virginia for Baton Rouge for the Arkansas game. All right, man. Well, it should be a beautiful day, man. It's an early kick, but it should be a beautiful day. I mean, it's supposed to be sunny and 75, so should be a great day for football in Tiger Stadium on Saturday. Hey, Patrick, good morning. Hope everyone had a blessed day, especially Dale. Abner, good morning. Seth, Jeff Landry, Seth, what did he say? I must have missed something. What did he do? Like, I don't know what happened. That's something new. All right. If I missed something new, but hey, Thomas, good morning. Snowing in northern Alabama? Really? Okay. Or is that just be saying that it's cold? Yep. Paul Skeens wins the Cy Young. First pitcher with a non-winning record, starting pitcher with a non-winning record to win the Cy Young. Eric Gagne won it with a losing record, but he was a reliever. Nick, what up, dude? Hope you and the family are doing great. Hey, Juan, good morning. Tiger Poppy, good morning. Player NIL deals mostly instead of milestone-based or lump sum. So it depends what you're asking about. So remember, NIL deals now have to go through clearinghouse, through Deloitte. So there is no such thing as in like as an incentive milestone based deal. Because it's a marketing deal. You're marketing take like Raising Cane's, Weeks and Nuss and those guys do the commercial you see with Nuss and Arch and Cooper and Archie all on the Raising Cane ads in the drive-through. Well, Raising Cane's paid them to do that commercial. and Deloitte had to clear the amount that they got paid to do that commercial. Now, lump sum, it depends on if like what you're doing. So, for example, you could be on a retainer. So you could get a monthly retainer for that company. Um, or if it's like they're just paying you to be in this commercial, here's the value of you being in this commercial. Boom, here's your payment. Tiger Diver, good morning, Scone. Any chance of a crossover locked on this week? Absolutely. I was actually talking to John Neighbors about recording that today. So we're expecting to record today, and we'll publish likely either later today or tomorrow. Hey, Daniel, good morning. Going to supper club. Okay, let's go. Any recommendations? Of course I do. What do you like? Are you going for steak? Are you going for something else? If you're not a steak person, the Chilean sea bass and the veal parmesan are absolutely outstanding, depending on if you want surf or turf. Those would be my recommendations if you're not going for steak. If you're going for steak, it really depends on what type of steak experience that you want to have. And you will find that you can go for prime meat. I mean, they have this all the standard. You could get filet, ribeye, your prime cuts, or if you want to do something like super special, just find out what the Sagrera cut is the day you're there. They've got the Japanese Omi beef that I talk about. Now, those are super high end, and I would only recommend getting them if you really, really love steak. Like, it's kind of like what I explain to people with whiskey when they're like, "Hey, what do you recommend? $100, $150 whiskey?" I'm like, no, they don't do that, because if you don't love whiskey or drink, there's no reason to. I mean, you can find a $30 whiskey that's incredibly delicious. So same with this. So if you love steak, I can make some recommendations for some of those. But the apps, the burn ends are probably the most popular. And then dessert, the creme brulee is this big. It's massive. Like, it's not. If it's just two of you going, like, you will have half of it left that you'll take home. But everybody loves the butter cake too. Can't go wrong, man. No matter what you do, you can't go wrong. It's amazing. Hey, Ben, good morning. Weston, good morning. If LSU hires a coach, what's a realistic timeline of when they would start coaching? I don't understand the question. I mean, immediately? Maybe you're asking because, like, what if, like, if they hired Lane and Lane's in the playoff? Here's my thing. I think Ole Miss is going to make Lane Kiffin decide, are you staying or are you going? And I do not think that if he's leaving, they would let him coach to the playoff. I do not think they would let him coach the playoff if he's leaving. It's one thing when the G5 school coach gets hired to the big Power 4 school and they made the New Year's Six. And so, yeah. Okay. How much is it? Okay. Just please look at the email. Like the Big Lebowski, writing a $20 check. It's today, the 13th. He only writes a check for like 84 cents. First half and half. Doing this now because I'll forget. Okay. Yeah. So the question was about Lane. Yeah, I do not think Ole Miss would let Lane Kiffin coach in the playoff if he's taking another job. Like, why would you let that coach stay around your program, maybe recruit your players to whatever his new destination is? No. You have to look macro, not micro. Leon, Clayton, Christian. Morning, Matt. Whole fired by cause is confusing. If there's cause, but they covered it up, isn't that worse than paying in the $53 million? Oh, I don't think they covered anything up. I just don't think that LSU actually has ground to stand on with the for cause argument. And again, it's important to note that if you look at that lawsuit from Monday, LSU hasn't formally fired Brian Kelly for a cause. The verbiage from Kelly's legal team in the lawsuit suggests that the LSU side were discussing the possibility of a for-cause firing, which triggered Kelly to go file the lawsuit, or Kelly's attorneys to file the lawsuit. Let's see. Good morning, Matt. Appreciate starting my day with your reporting. Honestly, one of the most objective LSU reporters out there. Very much appreciate it. Appreciate that, man. Thank you. Very kind. Thanks for being here every day. Joey, let's see. I'm starting to believe Saban could be Saban with all the smoke. Maybe. I mean, I'm going to continue to say what my stance is. Consider everything, believe nothing. I still think the likelihood of Nick Saban becoming the LSU coach is minute. I think it is super, 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 super small. But when the odds go from 75-1 to 2-1, you have my attention. Like, that's not just, hey, we're putting him on the list because. He went from 75-1 to the betting favorite. That's like, okay, people are talking here. This is Nussmeier's fault. I hate fans sometimes. Good morning, Matt. I'm going to my first LSU game against Western Kentucky. Any tips on parking? What time to get there? What to do before the game? Make the experience. Yeah. So truthfully, probably not going to be the most raucous game day environment. So parking should be okay. Candidly, I haven't been to a game since 2017, so I'm probably the wrong person to ask about parking because I haven't been in a while. And when I go, I have a media parking pass. So I'm just the wrong person to ask that stuff to. Someone could probably give you some advice here. What to do? I always recommend you got to watch the team and the band march down Victory Hill. Those times are posted on the times of interest before the game. And that's North Stadium, which is between Tiger Stadium and the PMAC. Mike the Tiger's cage is right there. You watch the team come down the hill, walk into Tiger Stadium, and then a few minutes later the band follows, which is awesome. Would highly recommend you do that. And then, of course, Mike the Tiger's cage is right there. Make sure you're in your seat in time for the four corner salute. It's pregame. They do it 15 minutes before kickoff. So just make sure you're in the stadium and in your seat in time for that. Those are the types of things you got to make sure you do. Morning, Matt. Pelicans still suck. Willie can't last much longer. I'm surprised he's still here, quite honestly. Hey, Jeffrey, good morning. Cesar Reeves was an All-American center at Michigan, allowed 1 sack in college. I don't know why he isn't tried at center while McCoy is out. Well, because now at this point, you've established him at guard for his entire career. So, and if you move Ruiz now, you're affecting 2 positions. Trust me, we've had this conversation over and over and over again. Hang on.
Eric's Construction and Roofing. At Parrish, we've got you covered. From the top of your roof, all the way down. Parrish Construction and Roofing. Parrish Built. Parrish Built. Parrish Built. From your hometown. ParrishBuilt.com.
Hi. Need North Peace, go to Brock. You need a roof, call Parrish. Hey, remember, we're very pleased that we have our Parrish 12 Days of Christmas going on right now. We're accepting nominations. We're looking to bless 12 families, and we're excited about it. All 12 winners, each of the 12 is going to get $1,000 from Parrish, $1,000 from Duplessis Builders, shoes from Ruckus, and Christmas dinner from our friends over at Chris's Specialty Foods. So we're happy to be able to do that. So if you know of a family that maybe is less fortunate and could use a little help this Christmas, please let them know and pass it along. ParrishBuilt.com. I'll go to the it's right there at the top of the homepage here. I'll link it if anybody wants it. There you go. All right. Caleb, morning, Matt. Hope LSU stomps Arkansas so it ends the bring back Petrino talks. Man, I don't know that anybody is. Are there people at Arkansas like wanting Petrino full time? Fast and flavorful. Morning, Matt. Shout out to the LSU soccer team, top 15 ranking, made the finals of the tourney, lost in PKs. Shout out. Good morning. Thomas knocked out the jingle. There we go. Jesse, good morning. John Paul, make it a great day. Gregory, hey, Brad, good morning. What do you think Nussmeier's future is as a pro prospect? It's interesting. It's interesting because they were much higher coming into the season than they are now, which happens, when Nussmeier is confident and upright, he's pretty good. When he's hesitant and running for his life like he has been this year, he's not so great. So I think he's a guy that the whole pre-draft process is going to have a lot of work to do. But could benefit him greatly, right? Go do the interviews, to go do the medical, to go do pro day and top 30 visits and all that stuff. I think that could greatly benefit Garrett because you could have teams look at what he was last year, what he became this year, have the explanation, work him out and say, we like it. And he could shoot up some draft boards. Hey, Chris, good morning. LSU head coaching search should heat up after the college playoffs. I think it should heat up after the regular season. It's really hard, I think. And look, Verge said on my show last week that they'd be willing to wait till after the playoff for the right coach, which of course would be Lane Kiffin. But again, I don't think Ole Miss is going to let Lane Kiffin coach the playoff if he's leaving. And I think they're going to make him leave. If LSU saying they fired Brian Kelly for cause, doesn't that expose them for covering up crimes again, especially when you're sitting AD being one of the people who got suspended for it? Bad look. Well, they didn't cover up crimes. There's no crimes that were committed. And it depends for what they're suggesting the for cause reasons are. And I'll tell you, there's no crimes. I don't even know that I'd go the detriment to the brand and public embarrassment, stuff like that. I don't even think. I just don't think they have a leg to stand on. I think LSU in negotiating this buyout floated the possibility of for cause as just saber rattling to try to entice Kelly's reps to settle, and it backfired. That's why I keep saying it's a game of chicken. I think Kelly's reps in turn said, okay, you're going to try to fire him for cause, and we're suing for the entire amount, which makes this thing even more public and uglier. I really like the Brazil pick, which we made because of Sean Payton trade. I know he hasn't lived up to first-round expectations. He's played in every game as a Saint, Mike D always said. Best ability is availability. Is there any consideration for Frank? I think he really needed to win that Alabama game. Now, if you see dramatic improvement over the next 3 games, let's say they win the next 3, they upset Oklahoma, and their top targets, they miss on their top targets, there's that possibility, because you could even see a world where retaining Frank allows you to keep this recruiting class together and hammer it down in the portal in January. I just don't think that that's realistic. Not impossible. We saw what those are on. Just not likely. Hey, David, Quentin, the I don't know, man. The thing is, I can understand it from Ole Miss's perspective. Sorry. Like, you've got to protect your program and your brand. And if Lane Kiffin is leaving Ole Miss for LSU or for Florida in your conference, and you're going to let him continue to coach you while he's leaving for a school in your league, no way. No way. Would you? Look, LSU's coach is leaving for Georgia. Just whatever it is. Would you let them continue to coach? You'd be furious. No way. Saban coached the bowl game when he's going to the NFL. If you're losing someone in your league, no shot. And you'd say, well, we're LSU, they're Ole Miss. At some point, you have to value yourself. By the way, Ole Miss beat LSU this year. And Ole Miss, the only schools in the SEC that have won more games than Ole Miss in the last 5 years are Bama and Georgia. Like, at some point, you have to value yourself and sort of acknowledge what your value is. Matt, after everything that's happened the last few weeks, I've never been more pessimistic about the future of the program I am right now. I don't blame you for that. But I also look and realize LSU's been through a lot all time, man. I mean, the Ogeron stuff was a mess. We just mentioned the Title IX stuff. I mean, there were people during the Les era that were not super optimistic. Heck, man, Bo Ryan was hired and died before he ever coached a game. I mean, ebbs and flows. See how they come through it. Hey, Kelly, good morning. NIL young boy. Morning, Scone. Who do you think will leave for the portal at Barry and Durham? I don't know that either will. I'm not saying neither won't, but I mean, both came here. As long as Frank is still here and LSU is paying what they shouldn't rev share, no reason either should leave. Hey, Robert, funny watching you write a check. I sell giving software to church that allows stock and crypto giving, so it's funny when I see checks too. I like Erica just came in and was like, "You need to write a check for $20 for the St. Lillian Thanksgiving feast." I'm like, "A check? Okay, a $20 check." Morning, Matt. When you're given top secret information about LSU, who's your person to talk to about it? E-Rock or someone at the radio station? What do you mean? Who's my person to talk about it? Don't tell anybody unless if it's something that I'm trying to relay to you all. I'm gonna break news or something like that. Yeah, well, like that's just your opinion, man. So good. Hey, Rooney, is LSU inviting another NCAA investigation by admitting Kelly did something illegal? No, y'all. So, all right, no one is saying he did anything illegal. Okay, for cause doesn't mean there was something illegal. Okay, you gotta get that out of your brain. Um, it can be just public embarrassment. There's a lot of different things that are for the clauses in the contract that could be the for cause. It doesn't mean you did anything illegal or against NCAA rules. Morning Scone. Oh my God. No, they're not. They're not possible NCAA allegations, sanctions, none of that. Okay. That's nothing involved in this. Okay. I don't know why all of a sudden today, 4, 5, 6 of you are asking that. No, there's no possibility of NCAA investigations because of this. None, zero. Hey, Seth, imagine Bama's burning segment after Saban comes back to LSU. It would be epic. Man, if Bama loses this weekend to Oklahoma, which they could, and then somehow loses to Auburn and finishes 3 losses and outside of the playoff, and then Saban comes, oh, that would be the most epic Bama's burning string ever. Let's see. More than Matt. Spirits high for LSU football and LSU sports. Hopefully, we don't waste Van Buren's red shirt for a dumb purpose. Yeah, Patrick, was it you who asked me? Someone asked me yesterday about the red shirt. It was a good question. I did ask Frank Wilson. I jumped on the teleconference yesterday and asked Frank that question, and a lot of people picked up the story yesterday. But it was good. It's one of the things that I tell you often. Like, I'm one guy. A lot of times you can be my eyes and ears for the things you're thinking or hearing or seeing or want to know. Let me know. I mean, I'm more than happy to ask when I can, when I have access. So that was a really good question about Van Buren's red shirt. Something, quite honestly, I hadn't really thought much about because they just talked about him playing. But the more you think about it, yeah, he's played in 3 games. He could play in 1 more, maintain that year. And like, do you really want to run him out there in a reserve role? Like, I mean, what if he plays like a series or 2, doesn't play well and goes back to the bench? Like, is it worth burning a red shirt for that? Yeah. Matt, you haven't been to a game in 8 years. I haven't been to Tiger Stadium since 2017. Because I started doing whiskey and wine, and T-Bob and I were doing pregame, postgame, and it just didn't make sense timing-wise for me to get there. Because, like, I'd get there, for pregame by the time I got out there, and got in, I would have missed basically the first quarter. And then to get to Don Juan, I probably would have had to leave at halftime or midway through the third, and I'd be missing the game. So didn't really make sense, So now that we're not doing whiskey and wine anymore, I could. I don't know. You get used to, and when I'm at home, I get to watch all the games, and I don't know. Maybe next year I'll start getting back out there to them. I plan to go to one this year. I think Eric and I were going to try to go to A&M, and forget why we ended up not going. Thank God we did. Oh my God, can you imagine that if that was the game that we went to? Anyway. All right, I gotta go. Gotta get Drew up, get him ready. Please smash the like button if you would, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post. AFR 3, Locked on LSU is live. So I did go through on Locked On today, sort of how they might structure Brian Kelly's buyout, and also I was told yesterday that not one but two Big Ten teams have reached out to Brian Kelly's agent to gauge interest. You'll find out who those teams are today on Locked on LSU. Go check it out. We'll see you.